So welcome everybody to another episode of Alex Means Business, where we talk to local business owners about their story and the community. So in this episode, we're having Bart from F45 Markham as a guest today. So welcome, Bart.
Thanks, Alex.
So some people might not know, but what does F45 do and what do you guys do?
I think the best way, or at least the way I like to describe F45, of course, the F stands for functional fitness. We do intense HIIT training for 45 minutes. But I like to describe it as personal training in a group setting. So we always have certified trainers guiding everyone through every workout. And I think that's what kind of separates us sometimes from other group fitness classes, is that personal training touch.
That's what I've noticed too when I've joined other fitness groups. What differentiates you guys than other ones is that you guys are actually guiding us step by step, right? So there's two parts, right? So the beginning of the class before it starts, we do a quick walkthrough demonstration on how to do it. But then when we're actually starting doing it, then you guys come around like, okay, maybe you should try this or something like that.
Yeah,
right?
I think with that personal training touch, the modifying exercises for everyone's ability, we can cater to a high-level athlete and we can cater to anyone who has never trained before and everything in between.
Yeah, I see like all the different people that come here. It's different fitness levels, different ethnicities, which I love, cultures.
Yeah.
And that actually leads to my next question, which is, why did you guys choose Markham out of all different types of, municipalities?
Well, to be honest, proximity. I mean, Andrew and I live in Uxbridge.
Okay, yeah.
So it was, and Andrew is from Markham. She grew up here. So familiar with Markham. You want to have a base of a population that your gym can support and vice versa. Uxbridge obviously doesn't have that as a small town. So yeah, and it's a perfect place. I mean, where we opened up, it's nice. We're along the Highway 7 corridor. It's accessible to everybody. It is a nice, diverse population as reflected in our classes. It's pretty awesome.
I liked how you talked about, how you guys differentiate like from other gyms, and you guys are based in Markham. Any plans for other studios or anything like that? And what's your...
Not really. I mean, it's tough, like owning a business, especially owning a gym.
Yeah.
After COVID, I mean, things are going well now, but Andrew and I, we have kids. As I said, we live 40 minutes away. So, and we're both very active in the gym. So to open another gym, I know a lot of people scale and, become systemized and whatever, but we like to keep it personal, and we don't really have an intention of, spreading ourselves thin or losing some of that personal touch for us being involved in the gym as well. And I don't think there's a need as well. There's a couple other, studios around here and there. So I think it's fine. We're happy.
I think what you touched upon too is the personalization, right? So when I came here for F45, I was pretty intense. And then eventually I got, I thought I got injured, right? And I stopped coming for a month. But then, during the whole month where I was trying to recover from physio, that didn't really help for my particular case. But when I saw you, right, I talked to you for literally like 5-10 minutes, and it's like, you were telling me to like foam roll, and absolutely, like, you see me now, like I'm pretty much back to normal. So I wish I came to you first.
I mean, we always pretend we're not doctors, we're not physiotherapists, but there are a couple things. I mean, lifting weights is a physical activity, and just like playing any sport, you're likely at some point to have a little thing here or there, but there are some things that are very common. Like that being one of them. As someone acclimates to new trainings, you become pretty versed in a few remedies for certain things, right? But we'll be the first to send anyone to physio. It's a pretty common thing that most trainers should be familiar with. We can certainly help with that.
Yeah. So besides me as a testimonial, right? Pretty much. Yeah. Can you tell me more about any other success stories you've had?
That's hard, and again, it sounds like we're patting ourselves on the back, but we even give out some awards at times. So we have our challenges. So we have these, part of our program is a nutrition program that we can follow. And then we have these condensed weeks of, it used to be 8, now it's 6, where we really focus on nutrition and try to guide people through their macros. And so, of course, during those times, we have challenge winners. Where the person who has the greatest composition. So of those, there's been many. But we also sometimes give out awards to, I like to call it the trendsetter. So when we look at some of their scans over a period of months, years, and we see constant, composition change, whether that's body fat, added muscle, weight, whatever it is that their goals are. So there's been so many, but I think for Andrew and I and our training staff, the biggest thing for us is when people just commit to a healthy lifestyle. So I think for that, we've seen so many people that have never worked out, and they've been with us for years and, winning a challenge here and there. And then some people have never worked out. They've come here and left, and then we've heard from later, said, oh, I want to thank you guys. I don't live there anymore, but I've been training.
Yeah.
So to us, like, yeah, it's never been about an aesthetic. I know that's still an important reason people train, but it's about a lifestyle. And for both of us as parents and people with a fitness background, it's like a lifelong thing. So so anyone we see that sort of incorporates that lifestyle and keeps it for a long period of time, for us, that's a success story, right? And that all looks different for everyone. It might be visible change, as you already alluded to, mental change, and just physical fitness, strength. So it looks very different, but I think just seeing that and incorporating that into their lifestyle, like fitness in general, a healthy lifestyle, sport, you name it, we're happy with that. So that's success to us, you know?
Absolutely. Yeah. And you mentioned earlier about scans. Like, well, what is the scan? Like,
we use the in-body scan.
Okay.
You know, it's a great piece of equipment. It helps it really it's segmental muscle mass, body fat, BMI, which we don't pay a lot of attention to, but it helps us, and it, more importantly, it gives you a sort of a guideline in terms of what your metabolic rate is. All these things that we can help people. So we can track, we can set goals. It's a nice thing. You do one every once in a while, every month or so, definitely with the challenges, and see where people are. It's just another added feature that we can help people say, this is where we are, this is where you want to get to, this is what we have to do to try to get there, and then we can check in along the way.
What's your philosophy?
I think for me personally, my philosophy is things should be fun. You know what I mean? Obviously, you're going to come here. We have good trainers. We have a great workout. We have a great community. That's where sort of the fun starts coming in. Like a workout should be fun. It should be challenging. It should be safe, right? But it should be fun. I mean, the idea for me, and again, I'm not saying it's wrong, just of grinding out in a gym for 2 hours isn't that fun. I mean, it's putting in work and people are dedicated, but if you're here, you come in, you move, there's a new workout every day, and that challenging sort of environment is fun. You know what I mean? So building community, having fun, interacting, getting to know people, that's what we try to develop here, as you know. And so for me as a philosophy, man, like I always say, I always tell people, I won't run, but I'll play basketball for 4 hours, right? I won't road bike, but I'll mountain bike forever. So it's like, it's got to be fun. You know, it's fit and fun. That's it. Yeah.
No, absolutely. I know. Before coming here, I would be working out myself, and honestly, I dreaded it. It wasn't that fun. I was by myself. It wasn't really a community. And so when I came here, I think the hardest part is for me just driving from one end to another end to come here. That's the hardest part for me for the training part. Once it starts, and it's just
come in.
Roll.
And like I said, those workouts too, I mean, we always joke, look, how many sets do we have on the board today? Oh my gosh. It's a workout. We do it in 40 minutes that, you know, you might slog through in an hour and a half at the gym. So you've got a more intense workout in, you know, HIIT training obviously has now been proven to one of the best ways to put on lean mass, great cardio, you know, in terms of calories burned, and you're done in half the time, you know, and it's fun.
And it's important. I think that's actually one of the main reasons why I decided to join here, is because the ability to condense the workout time, right? So instead of me working at my other studio or at a gym, you know, for 2 hours, coming here for 45 minutes, I get a lot more sweat in. I feel like my heart's pumping, and it is. I check, right?
Sure,
And tell me more actually about your monitoring system and your technology.
Technology,
you guys use.
So the cool thing, like every studio in the world is integrated in terms of following the same workout on a given day. So we keep adding with 40 plus different workouts that we have an athletic team. They design them ahead of the time, and then we download them and we play them with our technician on our screens, right? So instead of like a trainer giving you a piece of paper saying, okay, this is the workout we're doing today, and having to manually work through you, it's up on the screen and there's an avatar there demonstrating it, and then we can come in and modify that exercise to where you are. Back at the back of the room, we have our heart rate monitors. Now, what they're tracking is they give you points. So it kind of gives you a bit of a challenge. So if you want to push yourself, but it tracks your heart rate and it's visible on the screens. So as a trainer, we can see where you're at and, you know, kind of adjust your sort of intensity or output. And it just creates that technology. Not only is it nice to motivate the individual, but sometimes as a group, sometimes we use it as a challenge. Like we'll have like heart rate monitor challenges, things like that. But yeah, technology is, the whole F45 approach was, you know, trainer led by one, and the other was, you know, technology as the two pillars. So bringing it all together. So it's quite important.
I really like that because if you don't track anything, then you don't know really if you're going anywhere or if you're just maintaining.
And as you, you're in classes, so now we're increasing that tracking through our app. The app's been sort of all collapsed into one app now, and then you can track and check your sort of benchmarks. I know we have a workout called Benchmark, but all these, we have Trials Week coming up where you can rate yourself. You'll get rated amongst anyone in the whole network of 1,500 studios plus, whether that's the number anymore, and you'll get Alex in the top 10% of, or whatever, you know what I mean?
Cool.
So it's kind of cool. And then you can come back to those and be, did I improve on my last Trials 2 workout, stage workout, right? So yeah, it's kind of neat. So again, there is that progression built in as well.
Amazing. So in terms of the fitness industry overall, like where do you see it happening, like changing in the next, say 5 years?
I don't know. It's been so up and down, right? I think the trend definitely was, you saw with Orange Theory, there's other group type fitness programs, if you will, popping up here and there. I think there'll always be a place, like we talked about earlier, for people that just want to go grind, and that's totally awesome. But I think for the general population, I think things like this, where you can get personal training to a certain extent, that's included versus paying, a personal trainer individually, where you can have support, where you can have a community. I mean, again, we talked about that mental aspect, like we talk about the third place, right? Some people it's a gym, some people it's playing hockey, some people it's their badminton club or whatever. I mean, it doesn't really matter, but having that third place is important. And I think the more, you feel a part of that community, the more you're likely to participate. And as a result, the more likely you are to stay fit, stay healthy, live younger longer. Live younger longer is what Andrew and I always say.
Okay. So is there any maybe tips you might have for anybody that's watching this, like how to balance? I think the number one excuse people get to say is they don't have time. Yeah, that's probably the number one excuse, right? So is there any, how would you respond to that if someone said, hey, I'd love to work out with you, Bart, but I just don't have the time?
I think the number that we always say is that you will never find time. If you're a busy person or you're a busy person, you won't find time. And if you put yourself in a position to find time, you'll be searching for it forever. So you have to make time. So you need to schedule it into your day, right? So that's number one. And number two, the thing about it is consistency with fitness. So it can't be, we were just speaking with some members earlier. I mean, staying in shape is the best way to get in shape. If that makes no sense, but it makes sense. You know what I mean? So if we're constantly up and down, so that idea that coming and working out 30, 40 minutes every day is better than that, 2-hour grinds a week. You know what I mean? You're going to be, so consistency is the most important thing. And then, like I said already, making the time. So you have to schedule it in. If you're a business person, realtor, that, you got to be, okay, this hour, I'm going to the gym. And then the nice thing, I think that leads well to F45 is you have to book in your class, right? So I am booked in, I have my day schedule, F45's there. It's just part of my day, just like every other meeting, every other whatever, right? So
exactly.
I think that's it. Consistency and programming it into your day, your schedule.
Awesome, Bart. Because for me, I schedule this in with all my other tasks, right? And that's important for me, because if I don't, like you said, if I don't find that time, I'm not gonna make it. I'm not gonna make that time. I gotta make that time, right?
And sometimes that time has to be made at a time that you don't want it to be. So nobody's working at, well, not nobody, but 6 a.m. in the morning, right? And we have classes before 6, right? So hey, if you really want it, you can make that time, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Nobody wants to get up that early, but you really are. Our 5:50 class is jamming every day. So
amazing. So that's amazing. I really appreciate your time actually right now,
thanks,
right? Because I know you're a busy guy. You just finished a class, right? So I'll see you probably tomorrow.
All right, thanks, Alex.
And so absolutely. So how can people get a hold of you and contact information?
Pretty easy. Looking up just F45 Training Markham. That's the easiest way to get started. We have a trial offer on class passes and things of that nature. So it's give us a shout.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, thanks again,
Bart.
And
thanks,
we'll
Alex.
talk soon. All right.
All right, man. Cheers.
All right,
thanks.